off we go, and thank you, ladies, for being here. Alicia, thank you for being here. And thank you for putting this talk together. It's just that conversation that we had, the chat a few days ago. I mean, I haven't even started processing it or integrating or whatever you want to call it. I haven't stopped. It's just been like the other way around. It just keeps flowing out. There's just so much more open. So a lot of things open up for me. So that's where I am. So are we doing the little sort of update on what this subject, the Hyperboria and all of that has to do with it, which is a lot. We're just starting. We just barely touch on this. And it's already amazing.
When I asked yesterday, Felicia, when you said that you went into the Hall of Records and you saw that we had created this new grid for humanity. And so I asked Lily and Trudy, how does she do that? And then Lily said, go, Sherlock. So I came and asked you about it, about your DNA. You know, is that how you're accessing it? And when you said that the DNA has to activate slowly or you would just blow all your circuits, that made so much sense to me, because I think even Og talks about that, doesn't he? Hasn't he talked about if you integrated everything at once, you would just, a person couldn't handle it and
go crazy, like lose, you know, the mind cannot handle it.
Right. So it was sort of, it was really funny, Felicia, because I said to Trudy, it was almost like when you said that, I was like, oh. And it's like, well, here you go. We're going to open a little bit more. We're going to open another piece. I couldn't breathe. I was just like, and I was telling Trudy, I had like this panic attack that lasted all day. And it was like, asking you shall receive, because it was like some little harmonic that I couldn't hear unleashed another little one, like, well, you wanted to know, so here you go, have another little, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean, for Pete's sake, you know? And so it was like, but it, you know, I mean, it's, like you said, everything is energy, but it also reminds me of some kind of like harmonic scale that actually contains the code that will unlock your DNA. That's what came to mind, was some little harmonic that was out of my range of 3D hearing that came in and said, okay, here you go. Boom. Another little piece. And it was like, okay, so I can understand why, if you did it all at once, you'd be legitimately out of control. It would be very difficult to integrate all those pieces at one time.
Well, we've had so much. We've had like the giant trees. We've had all these different things. Now, it just seems like, just bring it on. Like, that's what warriors do. You stand there and you just know it's coming at you. But like Felicia was saying, you don't have to do anything. Like, you've done enough. You're just be there and let it happen. So that's what we want to know more about.
The giant trees.
Yeah, we started.
Go ahead, Lil. Go ahead.
No, I just said, you know, we started talking about what warrior is. It's the stand in this power in the original part of who you are. That's the stand. So you don't do anything. You don't fight, because there's a difference between a fighter and a warrior. You know, a warrior doesn't fight, because the fighter fights only in the victim field. And this is the thing, Felicia, what you did is you put it so beautifully on our chat the other day about the victim field, because a lot of people are still caught up in it and they can't see it, how that operates. It's because they're caught up in it. They're in it. And so, but your explanation was so beautiful because it was so simple. You talk about that as a warrior, you just stand. You don't need to do anything, and then you don't need to fight in the victim field, you know, because you are not a victim. You're not anchored in there. You anchor in all that it is as a human creator being, and that's just such a huge difference for me. But yet, for those that are still operate from that they have to fight, that they have to do something, that they have to, you know, they have to be serious about stuff, that they can't even, I mean, you can't even laugh at some of this crazy, stupid stuff that Nature's done. Because people get so sensitive about it because they feel victimized by it right now. And this was also more difficult for me to bring this up, because the reason people were upset with me is because I was saying that. And those people that operate on that, they felt victimized by my words, you know? And this is what usually happens. But the thing is, that victim field does not exist if you are this creator being. Because like my son was here the whole week, and we talked about this, that every action and reaction is yours, is created and operated and projected by you. This is how you own all of your reality, right? That's my talk. That's the way I present this, the way I talk about it.
For me, I think one of the biggest things that Felicia said was, quit trying to figure it out. Quit trying to figure it out. You know, like the Matrix and stuff, you know, like, or we're being harvested, or we're, you know, quit trying to figure it out. And to me, that was just like, because we do, or we did, or, you know, oh, I got harvested there, or I had a trigger there, or whatever. And to me personally, that was like totally liberating. Like, you mean I don't have to? I mean, I don't have to figure this shit out? Oh, phew. You know, phew.
Well, I was feeling so exhausted. Like,
yeah.
Like, the more I look into stuff, the more I'm like, oh, how am I ever going to get there? I'm like, oh, frick. I'm just like, I'm done. If I have to go through that, there's no way I'm getting through anything. I might as well just not worry about it. And then it was like, and then Felicia said what she did, and it was like, wow, that was like the moment of realizing that you surrender to. It's like, I hate using all these words that have been used over and over in different ways, but I'm just like, it's like you surrender to just being that and owning your own self, and it's like, wow.
So surrender is a place of where creativity starts.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid of words, because when you are in a living library, which by the way we are right now, so all our meetings are taking place in the living library. That's why it is being recorded. And that's why I mentioned on the Facebook page that we are in the flow of well-being. That's why, Lily, you're feeling this constant flow coming through. And it's gonna be experienced by everybody a little bit differently because you are being recalibrated. And so, because you can't take any fear, the fear virus does not, it has to be integrated before you can fully anchor in the living library. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
So you're gonna feel trepidation, you're gonna feel whatever symptoms you do, you have, please don't take it to the doctor unless you can stand it, because the doctor cannot read your, they can't read this, it's off their radar. These are just symptoms that you are going to have because of the recalibration, yeah? So they're gonna be very, very normal. If you, and if it's coming too fast, it's gonna send you to the church of the nervous system. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. Yes, I do.
It happens very, very naturally because your inner being controls the valve, for safety valve, for you as a human to receive in direct proportion to your opening, yeah? To how you are open to receive. But it won't take too long. You guys are like coming into the threshold, so powerful. All ESG family, when we pushed the button, our first meeting, we were in a library. I was like watching the back, you know, the video on YouTube, and my eyes are bugging out like this, and my eyes don't bug out, you know. And it was because while I was with you guys, the library is open, and I had the screens overlay over the meeting, and I'm like, please don't do this to me. Please don't do this to me. And so that's how powerful we summon this and in the here and now. So everybody jumped on the bandwagon of the here and now immediately. And and so I'm looking because it says my battery is low. Oh no, I have to plug my, if not, I'm gonna open my phone if something happens. But so going back to what I am saying is that all our gatherings are in the here and now in the library, yeah? And depending on how if you can tune into the childlike nature of your being, yeah, when you are in joy to ride that frequency, then you will anchor in the library and never leave the library. It's a way of saying, but I was trying to think, you know, last night, it's like, because you're always in a library, let's just say this, an aspect of your being that has to return, like your persona, yeah?
Yes, and I think this is what we talked about.
Yeah, because the persona, yeah, the social engineer persona is anchored in the archetypical force D. Yeah, where all the demigods, the demiurge, the people that create the elite, you know, that's where their house is. That's where they reside, yeah? So the persona also is resident in that realm, yeah? So that is the one that will never come into the library, ever. It cannot, yeah? And don't worry that you're not going to have a persona. I still have one. It goes all over the place.
Oh, I have a very strong persona.
Yes, you do.
Just gonna have
I kind of had to. I see how without it I wouldn't, you know, it's all part of my wholeness. So it's
well, it's gonna be cleansed up and it'll be your uniqueness. It's gonna become your energetic signature frequency. And the only thing that's gonna happen to the persona is it'll have no fear also.
Alicia, do you need to plug your phone in? I'd hate to lose you.
Then you'll be more unique, more you, more comfortable in your own skin, very courageous, fearless.
She already is.
Oh no, she's gonna create a monster.
Yeah, all of you are, but maybe you have a little bit of hesitance, you know, to step into your full power, because we've been here all our earthy life, and it's been quite a challenge and a journey for everybody. And so just let continue to keep opening and have the flow. Yeah, you all feel the flow. I know that. All of you, I know the flow well-being is running through. You are coursing through. Yeah, very beautiful, like water. Yeah, because Lily said something. She said logos. Yeah, she always says about the logos. Yeah,
yeah.
And water out of the 4 elements is a multidimensional element. It's not just water. Yeah, it's liquid light, meaning is the logos. It goes interdimensional and it brings so to speak, the logos through our body. Yeah, not the light and the dark, not the light. Yeah, you know what I mean? Is the logos light that gives you knowingness, knowledge, knowingness, pure knowingness. Lily, if you want to take it over, I'm gonna look for my plug. Yeah.
Okay, you look for your plug. I'm gonna talk about that. You know, the logos. Yeah, it's.
Yes. Please.
It's difficult to explain because it is sort of liquid. It's sort of plasmic type of thing when I see it in my dream state. You know, like. Okay, so. What I remember when I'm in this library and then I see parts of myself, I am there, I've seen it in that body, in that liquid plasma. I don't even know the words for it to explain. But it's like a living, but I've experienced that. Well, it wasn't really in real life because I was dead. Really, I've died so many times. I lost count. How many times I had near-death experience? I've lost count. But in one of those, it was when I was on the surgery table, and this is when I first saw this beyond the matrix to in this body. When I returned to this body, because I died there, I returned to this liquidy kind of body. And then from there, this is when I saw that I was the beginning of all the creation, because I saw this like a kaleidoscope type of thing. That energy was going and expanding, and that's how I saw that I am the center of it all, and I never died. And then I came back into the body, but I brought a little bit of that memory that I am that body, that being. And so from that time on, but during that experience, I also recognized that the matrix layer had no access to that part of me. And that's what gave me sort of this fearlessness that I had with the system and everything that I still have, you know, and it's expanding, you know. But it started there. This happened when I was about 20, so I had that surgery and so, but I had so many experiences like that. I've lost count how many times I've died in this life. And every time I do go into this, so I know we're immortal. I know we don't die. I know we don't, because I've experienced this more than a dozen times. More than a dozen times. I had been basically out of my body and dead in this soul of my being that is all that it is.
Very beautiful, and now you don't need to get out of your body because the body is coming with you, so you don't have to do all these, you know, maneuvers. It's too much work, because that was in the old, in the Matrix, you know, you have to get out of your body, and you have to, because the body was not recalibrated to handle the energy of all that is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This physical body, we came. When we came through, you know, we was so recalibrated to the old world, so to speak, yeah? And so now the body is being adjusted to it, and then you're gonna feel more comfortable because you don't have to take astro travel and astro something, and then you get lost in there, you know, everybody gets lost in the astro world, and they get very scared, and then they meet themselves, and then they get more scared because
I know, like this is
one time I asked somebody, I said, please do this exercise if you want to meet yourself, you know, and I said, just tell yourself that when you open your bedroom door, you're gonna meet yourself, you know. I went and opened the bedroom door. I could not enter the bedroom. There was this huge energy, you know. and she said, you know, the bedroom door shut, closed. I could not keep it open.
I know a lot of people are like, they are afraid to face their own greatness, their own humanity. I mean, we've been through this for years now. There's so many people that want to be alien or want to be this or want to get off this rock and all of that stuff. And it's like, it's sad at the same time. It's just like, wow, you know, because here you are, you see all this that belongs to humanity and who we are and who our ancestors are and all of that stuff. It's all this greatness that's been forgotten, and it's been distorted, destructed, and all of that stuff because of this virus. And so humanity does this suffering, inflicts suffering on itself. And I think this is the reason why we are talking about this publicly, because this is a treasure for humanity, the knowledge. This is a treasure. But of course, what you try to do after they try to copy the record, it's like my inner being knew that, but my mind was not aware of what's going on. But a lot of things, and I think, you know, Betsy and Trudy, you talk to me more often. Sometimes I just laugh at things, and I don't know why I'm laughing. Because they seem to be scary Okay, but this is the thing. Even remember, like when we did the talk about that, you know, computer little bot thing that's trying to pretend to be a being. And you know what? We laughed. Tears were running down my eyes. We laughed so hard at that from that time. But because people perceive it through this fear virus, because they still take your laugh as fear.
Yes.
Because remember how I was accused of being afraid of it. But in here, it's like, this is now, and this is, Felicia, what you were saying, this is a leftover fear virus from Atlantis, that they have to play it out. And this is, for me, too, makes a lot of sense. I've said what I said, and now let them play out their own fear that they have created. And so it's like there's been said enough for people to, I mean, there is, how much more can we decode this fear virus? We've decoded it, talked about it from right to left, from left to right, up and down, inside out. I went on there personally and talked to people about inverting everything inside out and start having a different perspective from your own point of view as a creative being. It's been said from every direction, from every point. The key thing, I think, right now, and this is why, I mean, I'm experiencing so much joy right now that I don't have words to explain. The joy that I feel because this virus is no longer created through the external. And this is a huge key for people to understand that the only reason that they experience matrix reality is because they themselves are creating it, operating it, and keeping it alive.
And this is the huge difference. We took the sphere virus to the shredder, which I didn't think was going to happen that fast. We literally.
Didn't we, girls?
Yeah, I mean, we're awesome. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm like, oh my goodness, because there is no more fear virus. It was removed from the consciousness of humanity for good. For good. And it went, I call it the shredder, but it actually was very, very beautiful because it returned back to source in a very loving way. Yeah. I just put it jokingly, you know, because we kept going like this all the time, you know, to the fear. I can't stand it anymore, you know. And so there is no more. So that's why I said we shifted the entire cosmos. And one thing that is incredible is that we don't realize we really are the leading edge at creation. Yeah, busting new territories and pioneering realms they've never been. They have not been in existence yet. In existence, not just in this algorithm of creation. Yeah, in existence itself. Yeah.
So why?
Sometimes that's why you feel that you go so far ahead and then you look behind and there's nobody there. You go, oh, gee, I better stop. You know?
I better slow down.
I stop, you know, because you look around and I don't know, humanity and your family is like trillion, billions lights away from you.
Yeah. Felicia, I have a question for you. During our chat that went into the Hall of Records, you said early on that we are not going to take these physical bodies to the grave. And I'll be very honest, that's my biggest fear, is fear of death. Don't know why, it just is. I've discussed it with Lily and Trudy before, in a chat and stuff. And when you said we're not going to take these physical bodies to the grave, what did you mean by that? Can you explain that for me?
Okay, living being, they are traceless. We're traceless. The real being is traceless. It doesn't leave leftover parts of itself in the universe that chooses to incarnate. Yeah, the traceless. Yeah, they leave no trace. That's why some of the, let's say, what would be like one of the groups that you can relate to if I mention, like the ascended master, so to speak, yeah? They left, some of them left the body, yeah? Or the masters that say they were enlightened, yeah? They still left the body. Even some of the most beautiful, our beloved teachers from India, like Nisargadatta Maharaj, and our dear beloved Papaji, yeah? They still left the body here. And it was just not because they couldn't take it. It's just, it was a different configuration, different algorithm for them to they can trace it back and take it afterwards, yeah? But not from within 3D. They could not do it, yeah? Some of them said, some of the teachers, they said, yeah, we did, but I think they just took it still within the hologram. Can you see me?
Yes.
Yep.
My battery might still die and I'll have to switch. I'll see how it goes. So if I phase out, that's what happened. Then I'm gonna go to my phone.
Okay.
And so the reason I'm saying that we are taking this body with us is because, and it's a way of saying, because I don't have any other way to say it, because as we transform to 3D and we open it up, because it was like a box, it was closed to the rest of the cosmos. And that's why we felt in it, you know, we never felt comfortable in it, yeah? Because it was close to the rest of the creation. Yeah? So now we're gonna open the box to the infinite creation, and then this will happen naturally through the awakening of the DNA. And it's therefore we don't have to go through the also, just think about it. It's like you die if we re-emerge every I don't know how many times per nanosecond. That means you're dying all the time. Half of the time you phase in and out of here. So it's just this concept that, again, the persona has, my body is dying. It's the persona that is fully entrenched, and that it overlooks your multidimensional existence, even in 3D, because it's happening. Yeah, you couldn't view it through the kaleidoscope. Thank you, Lily. Thank you. I was looking for that word the other day when I was explaining the circle. And that's exactly how it looks, the view from your spirit as a kaleidoscope. But I still fully encourage everybody, please do the exercise with the circles.
The plastic circles.
Please do it, because it will give you a very good laughter and a full understanding of what I mean.
All right, can you, Alex or you guys, somebody repeat that, because if we decide to post this publicly, then so people have that exercise as well to do. So.
Yes.
Oh, there you go, Trudy. Trudy, you're muted, honey.
Do you want me to explain the exercise?
Felicia was saying to draw a bunch of circles on clear plastic and cut them out and write on them whatever comes to your mind. Now, can it be just like anything that you're thinking about, or what is it?
Whatever you think of yourself, of your reality, of what your existence is all about, and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, please don't think like a child doesn't think when it's gonna doodle on that circle. It doesn't think. It just doodles.
You just cut them out. A little craft lesson here. They don't have to be perfect. They can just be organically botanical. And then you take about 10 of them and you just stack them up on one another after you've written things, and then you can see everything through, right?
Yeah, make a hole in the middle.
Okay.
And stick them on a pencil or on something, you know. Sometimes I stick them on a, incense. I love sticking them on an incense of your favorite, you know, like this.
Oh, an incense stick. Yeah, it's a good idea.
You know, it's like it's beautiful because it gives that, different kind of energy, you know.
Yes, spiritual.
Yes, stick it on a pencil, but I would make them a whole lot bigger than that because
Okay.
to give yourself like more room to run.
I should have had props ready.
Oh no, you're doing beautiful. Thank you for doing this.
All right, and then, so what do you do after that, Trudy?
You stick a hole in the middle.
And then you play with it. Like a child.
We're doing craft projects on ESD.
Anyways. There it is. Okay, you guys keep talking. I'll make this thing.
Okay.
That's very beautiful. And I have another exercise too for you, which will make you laugh so much. And then you will know what Og says, that you can enter the hologram from any point of your view, from your perspective. When you go like this, he said you can enter it because that's living outside of the time-space continuum. And when you do that at the second very simple exercise, you really know what I mean. And the other exercise is like this. Maybe I'll wait for Trudy, yeah?
Okay, we have to pick something to put on it. Something out of the blue. Okay. Fun.
Okay, write more like this from the right around like this. Yeah, the words.
Around the edge. Around the edge?
Okay.
That's right. So the whole thing is so full of words, not just one, you know.
Oh, okay.
Just don't say one thing to yourself. I'm Romanian. I say a lot of things to myself.
I know, that's funny. Something.
Lily, you know, because you are.
I know. Oh my.
You're my neighbor from Ukraine. We keep on.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
I know, and I'm of a gypsy line too, even though you don't. I don't look like because I look like that.
So you do that, right? Stick them like that.
Perfect. Just more words. Please.
More words. Okay, well, I'll fill that in later.
You can. And you can also draw flowers or nature or numbers or your favorite mandala or if you want to. I don't know. You can write anything.
Whatever, you know, some people value some different spiritual, sayings, things like that. All of that can go in there, right?
All of it.
Okay. Yeah, similar, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you write words on and then you... Okay, you guys, this is really quick. I can do a better job of it, but...
Yeah. So now, when you have the circles in there, yeah, you're gonna go just tweak with one circle and let it reset itself. Yeah.
Okay. Make the whole spring.
Somebody that can make something that can move from the inside, you know, so this is not static. I don't, you know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Every time you turn that, and you're gonna look at your story from here, and you're gonna read it from a different. This is how your spirit will perceive it through all dimensions on any given moment. And that's what it truly means to be here and now. It's the simplest way to explain, because people say, oh, you keep saying what is here and now, what is here and now. And to me, I am a very joyous person, so it's like you don't know what is here and now, and I have to stop and really give true consideration that people really do not understand that, you know, and just understand that they don't understand. So I came up with this.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful to like explain and have a concept. This is why I think we do doodles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's because, you know, you want to give the visual as well to people, you know. I used to do a lot of doodles.
Because you're not looking at it on a linear scale, like you're looking at it through all multi-dimensional way of looking at it. So that's why you have to do stuff like this.
And that's a really good thing too, though, Trudy, with your because in our discussion in ESG, there were a couple people who were confused and made comments about, well, they said the wing makers were from the future, but we're creating in the here and now, so it must sort of be bullshit. Sort of, not in those words, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So this is more of an exercise, like Felicia was just saying, how you can observe. I have to make one of those.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this and just like load it with different words, and then every time you turn it around, and then you look through it, and it's like, but it's all happening at once, but yet
so what's gonna happen is you're going to get a lot of ahas, very beautiful, a lot of nuggets and insights. And the interesting thing about is that when you get the ahas, when you live in simultaneity of being, which we already do, is the nuggets that you get, the echoes of the aha reverberates throughout the cosmos, and everybody gets the ahas. So we speed up the process, and sometimes I get a lot of ahas. I go around the house and I go, aha, aha, and I have no idea what aha I'm getting.
Just talk to yourself, and it's like,
so damn, I'm gonna be so damn smart and wise, but it's like I don't try to figure out, you know, I just for the joy of the aha, because it's like musical scale, you know, we open to a new octave, and the ahas are coming. And I go, aha, aha. And the way
Trudy, hold up your little device again, Trudy, for a minute. Now.
And the way what happens is
I only have one level.
Yeah, you become very efficient, because when you go to do something in like doing, then comes out as an inspired action, and it's without effort. And you're just gonna enjoy your creation instead of working on it, because you got all these ahas, and then okay, go ahead.
On these little circle things, okay?
Yeah.
Does in our talk, when Og was talking about the roundup ride, the centrifugal force that pushes you to the outside, but then the center is less motion. In this little thing that Trudy just made. Would the incense stick then be considered the center?
The stillness.
The stillness. Yes. Okay.
See, the dog just confirmed it.
He is. At least I have dogs to talk to. I talk to myself all day long too. This is how I used to do my videos. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but then I set this video. I'm like, okay. I just felt like there was something, and then I would just start talking.
Yeah.
And so that was what you're talking about. It's like you feel that your brain works sort of differently. It's in the flow and in harmony with your intuition. That's the only way I can say it. It's like there's a flow there, there's a connection, direct connection there that is just there. And this is like that stillness of being that you talk about, Felicia. Is that, you know, your intuition in your mind, everything works in that one flow.
Giants are fun. Happy Hyperboreans. I love
Agatha.
Crazy giants. Cool. That's really cool. But then you have to keep filling it in.
Yes. Okay, Felicia, so tell us a little bit more about Antarctica, because that was the thing, and this is what's been whole big hoopla going on with the Matrix. They're trying to copy this timeline, the organic timeline, and so they're all about Antarctica now. They're like, oh, Antarctica. So we have a lot of interest in that, just to understand what's the big hoopla is, or what's the hype's about with people that still, I guess, trying to do the Matrix thing.
It's gonna be part of the disclosure, and it will come out, and Tamarinda is gonna talk about that at the symposium. And if you cannot go to the symposium, you can get a copy of, purchase it. Because Tamarinda is a scientist, and she participated in all this history of from after the Nazis won the war, yeah. And so that is a subject that I will leave it up to her, because she's totally the expert of it. She has a direct experience, a multi-dimensional experience on what happened with all that. And don't pay attention to all the blah, 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 because I see it already on Facebook. I'm like, I want to throw up what they are like speculating, you know, about the Agartha and the North Pole. And to me, I was actually talking to Milos last night. He called me and he said to say hello to everybody from him. And he asked me the same thing about the North Pole. And I said, like I said before, don't put Hyperboreans and time and space for North Pole. North Pole means your compass, your inner compass, yeah? That's what it means. Yeah? It doesn't mean a location. It doesn't mean, you know, you can put them in a geographical location, but you're gonna go back into the mind, yeah? The North Pole points to what? To a compass, yeah? That you constantly come back to your alignment and you find your North Pole first before you tackle any doing, yeah? Don't tackle doing until you go back and you find your inner compass. And also inner earth, don't think about, oh, inner earth only as a location, yeah? Because they're in a different time, they're in a different universe. It means your inner being. Yeah, that's what inner earth really, that's what your inner earth really is, you know? So I will leave the Agartha and the North Pole to Tamarinda, because she's the specialist. I am with you just to explain about how the DNA is awakening and how it's the living technology that they're trying to copy. Yeah, I have to use the terminology. I've had some comments on Facebook about why I use the terminology, but I use it because it's a tool. You know, it's
yeah, like everybody sort of understands that I use the living technology too, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know, the pure magic, that's the pure magic, the source of pure magician is that. You know, use the terms that you have available to you, and that's what it is. So that's beautiful. Then because remember, girls, I even said when that whole hype about Antarctica set, and I said, okay, they're doing this because the real disclosure that's coming from real people, for those that have the personal experience with that, not like somebody like Wilcock and somebody who's, you know, who's having that, who knows where, dictated to him what to say. And boom, here, the real disclosure is coming up. That's going to be the real disclosure, right? Because they put all this stuff, and like I said, and then I was, you know, sort of inspired yesterday to write about that, you know, because I feel that now everything real about our reality is gonna surface and surface and surface. And that's how the rest is just gonna fall away. You don't need to do anything to deconstruct the matrix or to do something. The attempts to copy this living technology that is us, because we've said this, we figured it out that this is what was happening, that they're trying to copy the living technology to create a matrix. And they fail greatly. I mean, we see that whole thing. I mean, I don't know, but I already started laughing about all those copies, you know, because, I mean, it's funny to me. How can you not laugh at that? You know, that somebody's trying to copy a human creator being and have a straight face on saying that humanity should accept that information. It's like, wow, you know, we should laugh at it now, because that's it. There is nothing, once people, this is what I'm saying, once people fully can comprehend who we truly are as a human being, that we are this immortal, multidimensional creator beings. Once you do that, everything that they needed to do to reinstall Matrix was built on fear virus. But that takes it all out on that Savior syndrome. Once you have this realization, it knocks down the foundation of all of it, because it's outside of self. And so that's, I think, it's sort of like, and this reveal, this is why it's been so sort of, you know, nobody's talking about that. Very few people out there talking about the true creator beings. Because, why? Because it doesn't work for Matrix, you know, but right now, hopefully now, people can see it clearly. I mean, what is there not to see anymore? What is there not to see? The foundation of it all was built on fear virus. And now, with knowing who you are as a human being, it cuts off all of the attempts of the matrix to reattach itself, because basically what it wants to do is attach itself to a creator being. And I know that a lot of people, and Og is talking about that they sort of thought because they're blocked from original DNA, they can't get to it. This is what most of the genome projects are all about. They were all about trying to get this original DNA, trying to get into it, right? But they can't because it's impossible. It's impossible. And so now with people having this understanding, this information that is being presented to them, that it's impossible to make a human being be a slave if that human being standing in who he is. It's impossible, so you can't play a blame game. And so it takes a whole, you know, all of this secret space program, all of those, you know, oh, aliens are here to save us, this is what's gonna happen, and, you know, white hats that are doing this, and you know, we're fighting and we're winning and all of that stuff. It's just, it's laughable now. It's laughable. That's why when they started this copying, and when that copies would show up, we even call it cartoon characters. We make fun of it because it is funny for a truly empowered human being. It's funny to buy into something so weak, because the power we have is immense. It's immense. As a human being in this original DNA, it's no words.
No words, it's just direct experience. That's what I call direct experience. Yeah, you run no interference with anything else. Yeah, so you have direct experience into your own creation, not because the matrix says, oh, get into somebody else's creation and love that creation and hate that one and get along with each other. It's like you have no business to be in somebody's hologram, period. Because sovereignty of being is you're in your own. Yeah? Yeah?
Oh, that's funny. It was so funny.
You're in your own holodeck or in your own hologram, and you have clarity when you view the screen. You don't have the projection. You're not viewing the projection. Yeah?
Yeah.
So the first time, even if we speak about a hologram, for the first time a human being is gonna have a direct reflection, yeah? Because up to now they saw the reflection of the reflection of the reflection of who? Somebody else.
Yeah, we were just talking about the mirror. Like everybody has to walk through their own hall of mirrors. Everybody sees things, you know, sees all the reflection of themselves in this hall of mirrors, but you have to really know yourself to know, oh, that's the inverted version of me. That's not really me. You know? And you still walk through it and you find your way. But if you didn't know who you really were, you're just going to bang into the walls.
You are going to fully understand what really means to have a reflection. Not that you really need a mirror, because a sovereign being does not need a mirror either. That's what it means. It goes beyond the hologram, yeah? Because it doesn't even need the holodeck on the hologram. It doesn't need it. What for? We don't need a reflection. A sovereign being knows, has knowingness. Yeah? So, but for the time being, I don't want to go too far. I just want to say that you will now have a full reflection, and you will truly understand what it really means, the law of attraction and synchronicity, because you will understand it in a natural way, very organic, very naturally, by being able to look at the true reflection now. Yeah, because Christ consciousness means now being that Easter comes, it means something so beautiful to us. Yeah, Christ consciousness means of the crystalline realm, means you have clarity. Everything that you ever experience, yeah. And the reflections of the diamonds are a direct reflection of you, not of somebody else. So here's Christ. Take him off the cross, please.
Yeah.
No more dead stuff.
Making people worship the murder, because that's what they do. That's what churches do. They worship the murder of a being. So because that's their God. Their God requires murder. And so people that are unaware of what they're worshiping, they're worshiping murder.
Well, worship means a war ship. It's a ship of war. It's not your real DNA starship stretching out into infinity. That one doesn't fight. It just plays.
It pushes out, whoop, out. You're out of my reality.
It brings you to the leading edge, because that's where you have fun. You get bored, you know, so you go to the threshold of the leading edge and you sit there and you go, damn, this is beautiful.
Yes, so this is all has to do with our being human DNA active, and then we have this as within, so without flow that just kind of goes, you know, like I like this spirals, 2 spirals in the center, and so at the center is the reality expanding. And so that's, to me, I mean, that's been the formula sort of for an energetic body of a human being. And I've talked about this, right? The Merkaba distortion. And so now we're talking, and it's very clear where the distortion is as well. So if anything, I think what is happening, like with this grid, and we talked even about it in October, that it's activated, something, it went on live. So now this grid is active, and so what it's doing, it's like we were saying, it's pushing all that, this copy attempts at matrix. It's just, I mean, it's pushing it out and then showing it truly for what it is. It's just, there's a lot of clarity that we have with this process. So this correction timeline that we're implementing here as a, you know, because that's probably what my whole thing is all about, is to activate this original DNA and be the being that I am. That's it. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to destroy matrix. I usually go and in by being who I am. And that's what creates a lot of cracks and problem in matrix. I've been doing that since I was 5. I was going to the priest and telling him that he's got some entities around him and they're sucking the energy out of other people, so please stop that. And so that's what I'm here for. I'm just seeing things for what they are, and I'm being who I am, right? And that's the key to life, and that's the spiritual mission, I think. Just be who you are. And the life is just beautiful, and have the most amazing and most beautiful life.
It's like, the simpler it is, the closer to the truth It is. Trudy and I were, yesterday we tried to watch a video and it was just like, we couldn't. It was like,
oh yeah.
It was like,
you could just feel your energy being drained.
Quit trying to figure it out. Take it out of the mind. Quit trying to figure it out. Just be. Just do it.
Yeah.
Because the mental gymnastics that are being played in the alternative community right now is really kind of out of control. You know, I mean, they've got you doing, well, let's try that. I mean, and that's not even what it's all about. It's just, for me, Felicia, that was probably the biggest thing that just boom was when you said that the other day, was like, quit trying to figure it out. Just be.
Because then aren't we, if we're looking at figuring out from outside sources, aren't we then trying to look at it from somebody else's reality or somebody else's perspective? But
right.
What we're talking about here is that we are the living technology and we are the ones that are projecting reality out from within us, because that's what we always talk about, matrix inverting stuff. And so they project something that is attractive to you or to your reality, so then you accept that projection as your own. This is the trick that it's doing. But right now, because all that technology that used to do that planting technology that used to do that for the whole collective, okay, that is no longer working. You understand now why there is a white room and nothing projected on it.
No, we lost Felicia.
Because to me, that tells me, and I've said it like from the very beginning, that's a glitch in that technology. It's either a glitch or that it's kaput. There is no other translation. It's kaput.
Because if you were really in the space of no time, Trudy, hold your thing up. And you were on the top of that in the space of no time and stillness and looking down.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a white room.
No.
No. Ha! White room. There is no white room.
No.
Living.
No, there isn't.
Because you can see everything then. And you can see everything simultaneously.
Right.
So when that tack went off, or glitch, or whatever the hell happened to it, I think we glitched it out. It's been glitched out by, I mean, we know what happens to it. Once talks beings step into their shoes. But I mean, that just tells you how somebody's reality is totally external, because once that went kaput, nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
I always go around like I'm in my own little world, and I always have. Like, I'm not.
That's an amazing way, though, to describe the white room. If you're in the total space of no time, you see everything. You don't see a blank page.
You see yourself as a immortal being because you are in all of this. You are part of humanity. It's like you see yourself from that genetic point of who you are as a human being from that one cell, or from, I don't know, it's from the center of it all. So how can you be in the center of it all and not have anything in it? How
I can't even.
It all has nothing but white walls around it. It doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't.
I know, and when I have like a blank canvas in front of me, I can't wait to like put something on it. Like just get creative and, you know, like.
But that's good though. Maybe there's people that see that blankness and now they can see that their reality was fake.
Yeah.
Or not.
That be then
We're not, don't worry. I wouldn't even worry about it anymore.
No, I mean, but it's a good example. Like, how would you perceive life and everything when you find out that you are eternal, source, connected human being that is expressing and creating this reality? You're part of it. You're part of this living field. That's humanity. That this whole plane of existence, everything we can perceive, we're a part of it. So we're in this reality, and so we have a fact, and like, this is why I think we call this a grid, but it's not really a grid. It's like what Felicia is saying. It's living beings that, by being that, we are then, that's this grid, the living grid, the living library, because a lot of times in my life, I would also really know, and it was very intense time when I needed to be an observer in a certain situation, and then I would go back in, and a lot of times, I mean, it's like I was shocked. It was things that I didn't know what was going on, but I would go back into myself, and like you guys know, I talk about how sometimes I don't fall asleep, I just boom, and I go somewhere where it's like, it's my inner, I don't know, maybe it's library that I go into. But then, only then, after that night like that, when I know that I was working on something that I wake up in the morning, and then everything what I observed, that even was, let's say, disturbing situation, it made perfect sense. And then I could then move forward from that and see it. I used to always get clarity after I sleep on it. But when I sleep, I go working. I go working on my own inner self.
I know.
I don't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't mess around with any of those idiots over there. Because
yeah, same here. That's what I say. We never sleep. The living being never sleeps. You know, yeah? What that means, that we never sleep. We just go back to the frontier.
and you go.
Right? And then we bust it open again. And then we go, wow, what did I just do? So that's true doing, from beingness. And there was a question on the on Facebook page, that somebody asked very late last night. It was very beautiful. What was the difference between being and creating? And I said it's the same thing. It happens simultaneously. Being and creating.
Creator of being. So
right. And he answered back, he said, this is very powerful, because you always try to figure out when I'm being, when I'm doing. It's like it happens simultaneously. You are forever creating. Yeah? It's not like you have to stop your creation and go figure it out and then now you have a plan. It's simultaneously. So it's very, very powerful.
Yes, and like that, what we were talking about, we understand that, and this is because, you know, that kaleidoscope of energy, how it flows out from you, it's never stops. It just keeps going and going and going. So when I had that experience of, you know, being out of my body and seeing all that, my body wasn't doing anything. It was half dead over there on the table. But right there in that moment, my universal being, my immortal being was still creating. Because that kaleidoscope was keep going and going and going, no matter how long I lay there. You know, it keeps going because that's who we are naturally, like you say, Felicia. It's so beautifully how you say, it's natural to us. This is what we do. And this is what, and this is what, and I think Og explained this really well in last talk. He talked about that like a triangle, that Holy Trinity, that you can push yourself and accelerate into this state of creator being. And so this is what it is. It's the state of your being. And when you know that everything, and that's why I'm saying that everything you think, everything you say, and this is why when you're a creator being in power, you say enjoy, because you know that everything what you are as within you, so without. So if you're in joy, no matter what it is that you're doing, because we're creating that feeling, it's not the binary code where they can only copy it and put it in binary code and program somebody. But when you have that pure, creative, living field that comes through that emotion, I guess, that very powerful emotion, that it brings out, that emotion is what brings out into external that which is within. And this is how we create. This is how we create realities from within out. And so that's why it's important to say, you know, and even like I had a little conversation, people say, how can you feel joy when there's so much going on? Oh, joy is the mark of the creator. Because if you want to make a difference as a creator being, then you step into inner space of that which you want to create, and then you express that out. So if it's my intent to create joy for every human being there is on this plane of existence, then I'm going to feel every human being's joy within me. So then it spreads out through the whole of humanity. And it's not because of my ego that I am creating this for people. No, it's because I care for humanity. Because I understand how creation works, that if you, as above, so below, as within, so without, that's the law. And so as within, if I have joy that I can express for all of the humanity, I'm going to express it with the fireworks. Because that's the only way I know how to create as a creator. Okay?
Right. Beautifully said. And just to tie it up with what you just said, and with Og, the triangle, holy means wholeness of being. Yeah? If you really want to know what holy means wholeness of being, yeah? And the triangle that he's talking about is the real Trinity. because the real Trinity replaces the matrix one. Yeah, the matrix one is, what's the matrix one? It's time, money, and fear. That's the algorithm, yeah?
Yeah.
And the real one is living beings, land, which is the ground of being, and your spirit, your fire. That's the Holy Trinity. And that's even in trust law and natural laws. If you study trust law, yeah, the law of trust, they say there are only three real things: is people, land, and your spirit. Everything else is falsehood. And then all the agreements come from the ground, from that ground of being, yeah, about the land. If you're gonna make laws, yeah, you better know what the ground of being is, because the ground of being comes into being simultaneously. Yeah, it comes into being. Like I said, when you call forth your being, you also ground here, the ground of being, meaning the ground that you touch with your bare feet is the counterpart of the ground of being. Yeah? Yes. You're the one that creates the land here. You're the one that creates the land. The land is the mirror, yeah? Not the mirror, but the counterpart of the ground of being. And it comes simultaneously. When you show up, it shows up with you. And whatever ground of being, ground you want to ground in any quadrant of the universe, you bring the ground of being anywhere with your beingness. I don't know if this makes sense, but that's the best way I can put it right now.
It does, because this is why we instantly talk about grounding. We talked about grounding. Oh my God, I was sick of talking about grounding. At some point, I was like, I'm done talking about grounding. But we've done that, and isn't that the reason why when the Matrix wanted to disconnect us from our creator being and make us into this box for them, this is when they come up with that flat earth model. That was it. So people don't ground. And this is where they block them from activating DNA, original DNA. Because you gotta ground. Oh, it makes so much sense.
And
well, go ahead, Trudy, and then I'll say what I have to say.
No, that's good, because well, we were talking about that with the matrix thing, with the flat earth thing, that it was like, okay, this is how it is. It's like a game board kind of thing, and it totally removed all of the connection to thinking that the earth is a living
part of earth. It's like cut them off.
Yeah.
So if we bring the land and the ground underneath our feet, that kind of blows the construct theory right out of the water, doesn't it?
Yes, because what they do nowadays, even in a hospital, like in ancient cultures, you know, even in my culture, when a baby is born, after the mother makes the connection, you take the baby and you put the feet in the ground. Yeah, to ground, because you have a living being that has to ground its beingness with all the knowingness that it comes, and synchronize with that of Gaia, with Earth, because it's bringing more beingness, more ground, with its own showing up. Yeah. So what they do here is they take the baby's foot, and guess what they do is they put it on the Earth certificate. I'm like, you're totally in the God of Commerce world now, being transform into a unit of commerce and being fully disconnected from your beingness, not fully disconnected because you never are, but it's the casting out of that spell of the, you know, the god of commerce. What's his name now? Hermes. The archetypical, you know, that we bow to it for the rest of your human life here, because your, you know, your birth certificates gets transformed into a bond, yeah. And the Mr. Pope there gets a watermark on it, and then he does his ritual every March in Venice about water, the watermark on the gift certificate. That's why I talk about the water a lot, because they know what I'm talking about. They lock it into an algorithm there. That's a falsehood, false matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they try to access it through water. We already
Through
know.
water, of course, through water. Why? Because it's multidimensional and it's the logos. Yeah, it has the knowingness. But through being, because now we anchor the ground of being. Yeah, now we're back into the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, that's traditional sort of thing when the baby's born to put, because there's that initial charge or initial connection that happens with Earth and the being. So it's a tradition to put a baby. And then even my mom said she had to literally put us on the ground so we can eat the soil. I didn't do that to my kid. He probably ate something.
Yeah, if you ever feel sick, just go and lay on the ground. Yeah. You know, if you don't feel sick, just go lay on the ground.
Yeah. Even animals do that. They want to get outside and they want to go and lay by a tree when they get sick. You know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
lay on the ground.
The birth certificate thing, I was going to say, like when you said that about Lily, about they get that initial spark or something from Earth. Well, what they do in the hospital is they take a needle and stick it into the heel and take out a blood test off the heel of the baby. So that's kind of traumatic. All of a sudden, it gets this blood.
Then there you go, a trauma, induced trauma to the baby.
And so that in the heel, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, because what is blood? Is blood sacrifice ritual. If they don't find it in the blood, they don't know how to find it. Yeah. That's how, you know what I mean? If you go to the hospital, if you go to the hospital and they don't find it in your blood, they send you home. That's how limited they are, because they are into the blood sacrifice game. And that's why I said, of course, it's up to you. I'm not giving medical advice. You know, if you feel really bad and you are in fear, please go to the doctor. But just know they can't read you anymore. You're off their charts.
Yeah, it's all those blood cleansers that I did. I'm doing one. I'll show you guys one.
But you're gonna feel a lot of symptoms.
People, my mom knows everything. So, but anyway, this is juice of the red beet, juice of the garlic, juice of something else, and I have to drink this, but it cleans your blood of parasites. And you squeaky clean energetically as well with this stuff. But I know exactly what's in here. My sister made it and sent it to me.
Cool. Well, it's kind of like
all the time.
Turpentine kind of does that too, eh? Like the turpentine cleanse thing. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Felicia, about doing cleanses and stuff? Do we have to do that?
Not as much anymore, but probably you want to be very good with your body and, you know, use things like Lily just showed us. to help because you're gonna go very fast and you're gonna have a lot of turbulence inside. So it's not necessarily for like, oh, I gotta get healthy. It's because of this, yeah. So you help your recalibration along, and so now you're not gonna look at your body as having symptoms of sickness. You're gonna look at your body as moving itself along and recalibrating back into wholeness of being. And it's probably a very good idea to put these recipes like Lily has, and I have it. I just call my mother and she'll tell me something, and then I take it and I'm okay. That's and it's I have it in my cupboard, what she wants me to use. Yeah, I don't have to go anywhere, and in here and now I have all the ingredients.
Yeah.
So it's very beautiful that because nature is God's pharmacy.
And that's what my mom's side of the family, they know every week, what is it for, how it works, everything. All the recipes, how to make them. This is all my mom's recipes for all this.
Yeah, and sometimes,
right? It's you know, if anything, this is how we are. If anything, you just go first thing for the, what is that, the little flower with the white things, that wild,
Echinacea?
Dandelions?
chamomile.
Chamomile.
Anything,
Oh,
first thing, have some chamomile tea. And then if that doesn't work, then we'll move forward. Because
That's right. That's what I always have chamomile. Okay,
or spontaneously your body from now on will tell you, I want this. Like sometimes it says just eat parsley, you know. So a whole day I just go to the store or to the garden, you know, if it's spring already, and just get a bunch of parsley and graze on it.
Or asparagus, like, oh, do a cleanse on asparagus. It's really good for you too. Yeah.
You will be prompted in the here and now, you know, to what, because your body has intelligence. It knows. Yeah.
yeah, it's like I was saying, when you align your cosmic intelligence with your biological intelligence, right? Then it's all becomes one, and then it flows, and it's because it's your own biological intelligence that is now aligned with your spirit, and it's fully operated for spirit, then your own body will tell you or will let you somehow know what you need. Because for me, what I need might be a whole different thing. Like a year ago, remember, that was 6 months where my body didn't want anything but honey and chamomile tea. And this is basically what I lived on, and some fruits, because my body wouldn't take anything else. And honey is very, very popular. It is antibiotic. It's natural antibiotic for so many different things. And this is, I think, why also they in America saying that don't give babies honey. And this is why they develop all of the allergies, is because they don't eat honey. If you eat honey from a very young age, and especially honey that is from your area, it readjusts your body to that area, so you're in harmony with the area that you live with. And this is like what the natives, I guess, held that. This is a knowledge, and I know that in Europe, you know, where Felicia from, where I'm from, it's a huge part of people's life is that harmony with the land. Because that, you know, there is people, our ancestors understood and respected that. And I think these days, this is something I had to talk a lot with my son, even when he was here just now, and he's 20. You know, so I'm still, you know, slacking on some things, even though I was raised in a whole different way. I mean, the reason why I'm still here, I didn't die when I was young, is because of honey. Because my mom figured I was very, unhealthy because I was premature, and so she gave me honey to give me life. So, but that's, again, I don't push anybody and I don't tell anybody, oh, do this, because this thing will make the garlic pour out of your pores. You're gonna stink.
Yeah.
The thing, I'm single. You can only be single and do this because I'm out that whole house. And I'm doing even this year when Jim is not here because they literally sing.
It's interesting. It's interesting how what you said, Lily, because the only emergency I have in my life if I run out of honey and garlic.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not having these. It's like, oh, call 911.
I know.
Yeah. But it's important what you said, because a lot of products, on the market, even the most organic ones, they said, oh, take this. They make something in a bottle and say, oh, everybody has to take this. And then everybody runs with the echinacea thing diet, They don't listen to their body. It's not for everybody. You're in a here and now. It's very different. It's very unique to your own makeup, genetic makeup, and that's why in our country we are not even advised to move from the region where we're born, because even the water that we drink has the minerals that are synchronized with the DNA that we have. So they say don't move from where you're born, from where your feet touch the ground. You can go visit, but don't move.
Wow. I've lived in almost every province in Canada, maybe.
But it's all
Canada, though.
It's all right, because you know how to recalibrate. The ground of being is the ground of being. It's just for people that don't know, it's harder for them to, if they know this, then they know. But for people that are grounded in the ground of being, they can ground anyhow. It doesn't matter if you move around, which we do, because I don't know where I'm going to end up tomorrow. I have no idea. I have a feeling that I am supposed to go somewhere shortly here, but I have no idea what continent or what universe for that matter.
But yeah,
so
the grounding, that's so true. You can ground. It takes the recalibration within your own being, but I think I even talked about that publicly, how when I moved, I had to sort of reestablish myself with the land I was on. And so, because that part of me is very strong, that connection. So then, it had to be sort of reestablished. But then
bare feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Lily, when we were in Mexico with you, and we were on the beach, and we had our feet in the sand and the whole 9 yards, and it was I could feel it in my body adapt to eating the local food, and when we just have food brought when we were just sitting on the beach figuring out our doing our spiritual stuff, I could feel the difference of being closer to the land, the clean of the food, the water, it was amazing. And it's entirely different here. Of course, here you're, pretty close to big city life. So, but the difference being where you were, just totally amazing. Totally amazing. I could tell right away.
So if you take that frequency, because we ride frequencies, yeah? We bring a certain feeling and then we infuse something else with that frequency and then it realigns itself. So now that frequency that you rode over there with the food, you have it in your beingness, yeah? So if you ride that frequency, it's gonna permeate into the food that you're eating in the here and now. And then you are going to recalibrate that food because we only for the joy of that ride, for that frequency, yeah? And then everything else, instead of chasing after a certain kind of food, you know, like the food in Mexico or the food, it's true what you said, but then you're gonna be back in lack, you know, because now you're here and Mexico's there, right? So now we ride the frequency, and then because that's our ride, the ride of the joy of being, yeah, is what we're after. Like I was talking to Milos last night, and I said, well, if you're in a joy of being, do you really care what object or what occurrence takes place tomorrow in your life? And if you come, what comes into your life? Because if you're in a joy of being, whoever comes, they're gonna experience them in joy, yeah. Because that's the frequency that you are riding. So you couldn't care less what happens tomorrow, yeah. If everything will reflect, even if bad things are gonna happen, like you're gonna have an accident, yeah, you're gonna be in joy of being. You're gonna go cool. Wow, look what just happened here. You know, I fragmented myself. I'm all over the road. Now I can I can look at the puddle of, you know, blood and my limbs, and you know, I bring children of the future through the living corridor, yeah, the interdimensional corridor many times, because we also visit here before we take embodiment, yeah, you're gonna start to remember. So they come through the interdimensional corridor to get adjusted to this realm, yeah, and that's how they look at it. They go in there into the blood puddle and they stick their, they look, and then they, because they take a certain kind of embodiment, they take their eye sockets out and roll it on the street and go get it and put it back, and because they know it's a very beautiful game. So if you're in the joy of being, you're gonna roll your eyes out, you know, and go roll after them. So that's what happens if you're in a joy of being. You're going to experience even traumatic events from a exploring everything, yeah, and finding out more things about yourself and what you're really all about. No fear.
Yeah, and you know, it reminds me of a little story I'm going to say that, but when Jimmy was about 5, I had a car accident. It was a very big car accident. I don't know, you know, head on, big trouble. And he was 5 years old, so when the ambulance showed up and they asked him what happened, so he is a 5-year-old being in the joy of being, told them everything, and even told them why I broke my foot. He told them that when we were going, I wasn't relaxed, and then I really stretched my arms, and that's why he told them everything. In his joy experience this, and he knew why everything happened that way. He just told them, and you know, all the police and all the, so you know, my dog, and all the ambulance people, he just told them exactly what happened, the reasons, and everything from his point of view, and it was the most beautiful thing, and they could have just stopped right there. They had all of their answers. And in fact, when they would ask me a question, he's like, I told you, she has a broken foot, don't ask her, I'll tell you everything what happened. So I see what you're saying. It's like taking life from this point of your eternal being is what makes it so beautiful. Everything. Because you know that whatever you experience, it is part of your experience. And this is what I think the value of all of this talks and what we're trying to do is bring people into this space to where they can go in and be themselves. And so what we're sharing is that joy of being me. I share with everybody else my life, my experience with reality. That's who I am. That's what's happening in my reality. This is how I'm perceiving my reality.
The dogs are still telling the story. They're telling the story. The dogs, they are telling the story.
There's cats in the backyard. That's.
Oh, those are big cats, though. Those are huge cats.
I know. I have a lot of life here.
Have you ever noticed how quick the children, they shift universes? Because they go and they fall down, you know, and they have a big scratch on, let's say, on their body, you know, elbows and all that. And by the time you go in a house and you find the Band-Aid, they're gone. They couldn't care less if they bleed. They're already in another universe. So we're just lagging behind, you know, as parents. It's like, forget the Band-Aid.
Forget Band-Aid, yeah. Let's move
on. They are masters of shifting. They're masters of shifting. They shift. They don't figure out anything.
Yeah, they just shift. And that's what I think was one of the most important sort of parts that was really brought a lot of clarity, I think, to people from our last conversation, is that the part that it's about shifting, that inner shifting. It's nothing that shifts outside of you. It's that inner shifting that has to happen first. It's that once you inner shift, then external reality will have to shift. It has no other choice. I tested this. And it's true. I've tested this. Once you shift inside, there's your power, your inner power is so much stronger than any external projection that wants to hang on to your reality. Once you shift here, it has no way to stick to your reality. It has no way. Only you can hold it there. And that's, I learned that hard way. Well, not that hard way, the fun way. Yes. Because I had a lot.
That's why the DNAs are called gears of consciousness, because they help you shift.
Yeah.
And if you don't shift, you just get stuck where you're at, and you just kind of start to seize all up.
All right. So if you get stuck, is look into it. There's a nugget there for you. Yeah, instead of fighting, oh, I'm stuck, it's like, oh, let me find out what the nugget is. This is cool, you know, I'm stuck. Oh, it's really fun. Say, I'm stuck. Wow, this is fun. Let's see what's in there for me. And that way you don't try to unstuck yourself. You know, you're looking at it from a perspective of exploration instead of being prison. And having a dual aspect kicking in. It's like sometimes when I see the Hyperboreans making the template, you know, because they make it as we go. They're very entrenched and in love with us and in awe that how we. And when I move left, they go, oh, she moved left. This is awesome, you know. Oh, she moved to the right. Oh, wow. Because they know now that I move to the right is, you know, it's a different perspective. oh, she's stuck. This is amazing, amazing. She's gonna see it from, because they're always in the joy of being, you know. So now you're looking forward to, you're gonna be looking forward to everything, being stuck, being sick, being well, being.
You're gonna look at it as, because as a master of your own life. Because then because once you do something, once you truly do, when you shift within and your external reality shifts to harmonize with your inner world, and once you experience that, and when you see that it is you who brought that into manifestation, then you can go and say, oh, well, I'm stuck at this, so I'm gonna be stuck here. You can't, because somebody, because Trudy, Betsy or Felicia's gonna say, hey, Lily, what do you mean? You've done shifting before and you know what it is. You know, you can't be stuck in something once you know that you, as a creator being, can shift within, and then that will express out, and your reality, it's like, it's not a belief, it's knowing. It's knowing, you're so sure of it that you create your reality. When you understand that, then, it'll be embarrassing for you to say, oh, I'm stuck here and I'm gonna stay stuck here forever. Because you'll be like, well, it's child's play to be stuck somewhere. When you really know and you've done this and you experience your own creation as a creator being, I think that you have no excuses. But then the stuck situation is just something, like you said, it becomes an exploration journey. You're just exploring something. And this is when, I'm working through something and I go, oh my God, because something makes sense. And it's like you were saying, Felicia, it's like finding those ahas becomes like little treasure for you. You're like, everything opens up and you go, oh my God, this is, it's just so much clearer, and your reality becomes more clear and everything. And that's why then life expresses itself as just joyful being. And that's what truly awakened human being is. It's just in its natural state, which is joy, right? Joy of being, beingness. Like to say, Felicia, that's very beautiful.
Yeah, because being is creating, happening simultaneously. You're going to see when you turn left, the whole cosmos is going to turn left with you. You're going to feel it. I mean, people think, oh, it's going, according to science. No, when you turn left, it goes left with you.
I know this. I've experienced some interesting things that I was like, oh, shit.
You did, yeah. It kind of stops you on your track to be very aware of your state of being, like you said, responsibility, because if it's shifting according to your state of being, yeah, you better be aware of what your state of being is. And if it's anything other than joy, good luck with it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's your state of being is your treasure at any given moment, because that is the grid that you are putting into place with your creating a state of being. Is in the 3D reality, the personality either chases after something or something chases after it. Yeah, we call that, if something is chasing after you, you call that the past. And if you chase after something, you call that the future, but it's still here and now. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, so state of being is your guardian, your angel, your everything is your own state of being.
Because that's what you're after, even if you're after things to get, is to feel a certain way. Yeah? So if you just fetch that frequency, because you are a hitchhiker, you know, of the universe, you love to ride the frequencies, that's what you do, you hitchhike. This frequency, that frequency, and then it comes into an experience, yeah?
That's what the real law of attraction is you just got to shift into that state of that feeling.
You're riding the frequency. You couldn't care less who comes to reflect that and what they look like, because you are for the ride of the joy of being at any given moment, like a surfer.
Yes, with the wave, but the wave, you know, it's a relationship. The surface enjoys the wave, and they have the relationship. It's just the same thing here with the frequency. The way you feel, the frequency you're on is, you know, that's your relationship with your being, and there you are. And so you are in charge of that relationship. Or, well, maybe I'm not using the right words.
Is the only relationship you should have.
Exactly.
And then whoever comes to reflect that, they're welcome to come or not come.
Yeah, but then you don't need anybody else to come. So like you said, they either come or they don't come. It doesn't matter. You are who you are. That's just it.
They do come beautifully when they come, if you're like that. they come in wholeness of being, and you go, oh, oh, welcome. You get another sovereign being coming your way. It's like, oh, whoa, look what I just invited in.
Oh yeah, interesting, right? Yes. That's
yeah. Then you don't have all this mushy love, you know, needed this, I need this, high maintenance. Sucky energy from each other.
Yeah.
You guys know what I mean, right?
Oh yeah.
We've
all had to kiss a few frogs, yeah? It's like,
we haven't just ridden in one rodeo, sister.
And it goes the same way for men, too. Yeah. When they come in wholeness of being, they also get another sovereign being coming their way. Yeah. So it's very, very beautiful, especially for men in this society, because they have been demonized, you know, too much. By the way, I love my brother, men, all over. I really do. And my sisters. But I know they've been demonized too much. The male energy. It's like, well, you have it in yourself. Why do you think it's out there? Is you as a woman have not gone through the rite of passage of humanhood, because you would not have that perspective. Yeah? You have not walked through the rite of passage to come into your womanhood. And now you think is the male domination and control something. It's still you projecting out, and not showing up at life in wholeness of being. When you do, you don't have that.
Yeah, it's all about, like you're saying, Felicia, you know, sovereignty. Sovereign being. And when you're sovereign yourself, only then you can have a relationship with another sovereign.
That's to me what sovereign being means, because you're a sovereign nation unto yourself. Yeah. And I'll actually talk about that in a more practical way in sessions to come. because the I am presence has already been registered in the Uniform Commercial Code. So we already shifted, you know, the Uniform Commercial Codes? It's the codes that govern all the commercial, the commerce, the world of commerce. Everything that we ever create as a document, because they're really after our signature. They are after our essence, yeah? When you put your signature on the documents, that's why you have now, they don't care if you have a house or not. If you put your, or you take a third mortgage, second mortgage, they're not after your house. They're after that signature, blueprint, your thumb. Now that is your signature, yeah? So, you know how I said we took the matrix to the shredder? Okay, April 2013, this is what we actually did too. We're so clever, you can't believe it. Because he said, how do we beat them on their own games? Yeah? So the I am was registered in the universal code. The I am being sovereign. And nobody can mess with the I am. Yeah? The I am has arrived on April 1st. And got registered. And for those of you that know law, they know that if you register something in the universal code, and not the in the commercial codes, yeah? In the uniform commercial codes, and you don't rebut it, it becomes law. And they did not rebut it. How can you rebut the I am? So the whole world of commerce have been already recalibrated to natural law by the registering of the I am into the uniform commercial codes. And Og talked about that. That's how I came into Og. Because the 35, the number 35, I mentioned it to him and he went and dug it out and put it on Facebook. Because it's like talking about synchronicity. It's like, whoa, there comes Og, you know, out of nowhere. About the I am, you know. And I said to the group in there, because I didn't want to, I wrote a whole paragraph, you know, in one of his panel discussions. And he went and dug it out, yeah, and put it in there. I said, just go dig out number 35. And he came back and put it in there. And number 35 refers how your DNA becomes intellectual property through the state. That's number 35. That's now some of the highest paying jobs requires the so-called CAA, the so-called high-paying jobs. They require you to have a DNA test, and when you sign the contract, you're just giving them the right to that, all your inventions through number 35. So he went and dug it out and put it in words that I can never do.
Wow. You know, you guys remember that picture that showed up, this one here?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, love it, love it, love
Doesn't that look like Og?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
well,
a Russian guy. That's a Russian guy, right?
But this was from like years ago. Like, so Og says that he's been here how many times? Like, do you think that could have been Og?
It looks like that. That's funny.
So Og, if you're listening to this.
I think I sent that picture or something.
I'm going to send it to him. I have to do that.
He'll be the best one to comment on that. I'll leave it up to him. Cause, yeah. Yeah, but so that's what, when I'm saying you really don't have anything to do, you really don't. Don't fight the matrix. It's the law, the natural law got recorded in their own books. Not that we have to register the IM. Nobody has to do that. It's ridiculous.
But
you know?
It's for them. There's certain things, and this is what I felt, like there's certain things that on this correction timeline that needs to be done through that system. So it's almost like you were talking about, Felicia, recalling or your wholeness. And this is what, but certain things, and like I say, I sometimes say that certain things need to be said and registered here. And especially right now, because it can be used like right now, this could be a notice to a system that, you know, I am reclaiming my especially ever since they released already that they listen to everything. So now they can't go and say, well, we didn't hear that. See, legally now, I can present this, that this is my claim to my own DNA, to my own being. Because there has been leaks, and lately, WikiLeaks released that CIA is recording everything that's going on online. So it works, it's like stick with the two ends, or whatever, how you say that. So this is, I think, why, the reason why it needed to be registered with the legal system, for a legal system to know that this is what's happening, right?
Right, and they also want that because they want the correction too.
Yeah.
They also want the correction. They're tired too. They want the correction. You know, we all agree to play the good guy, the bad guy, so we can just finish this thing. And they are also not forcing us to, because what federal really means, the word federal. If you buy a Black Law dictionary, which, by the way, I cannot keep in my house, I look at it and then I have to put it outside. I look at it, you know, every time now and then I reference something, yeah? Because to me, that's the Black Law dictionary, that's what it's called there, you know? That all the attorneys go to study, yeah? It's a casting out of a spell. And the word very interesting, because they are not saying we are keeping you in prison. They're saying a contract, any contract that you sign, is an invitation to contract. People that know contracts, they know that contract is an invitation. Even a bill that you get in the mail, it's an invitation to contract, you know. You can just go look at the bill and say, you know, it took me 3 hours to read this bill because I don't understand your language. And according to my own authority, I get paid $1,200 per hour. So here's a bill back for $3,600. It seems to me it's bigger than yours, than what you send me. So are you going to send me money back, or what are we going to do? And so, because it's your life force, yeah? And they know that. They know that Lily's gonna laugh with tears, because I know you guys are gonna start having so much fun with this, and you're gonna get on this game, and you're gonna be sending those notices back and those stupid mortgages. And say, my hours of energy looking after this house and painting it and here's my bill. What do you think about it? and like and like Og said, everything is paid for. Anyhow, when you put a nation together and you look after it, everything is paid for. Yeah. So you're getting double bill anyhow. Me too. Because I don't want to tackle that game. I'm too busy with the blueprints. But maybe now that I'm done, now I'm done. I feel like I'm done. Yeah, that you coming together into my life and me coming into your life, I feel that now I'm done. So I can just move into into the recognition that giving notice, yeah, to the establishment, because from April 1st, 2013, they are in treason and in fraud, and they know that.
Yes. Yeah, the contract was over.
Yeah, the contract got nulled and void, yeah, by register of DIM, and now we're just playing the leftover game because we can't take everybody out of their mortgages and out of their stability of their homes. People have children in college and in school, and so it's gonna happen gradually. But like I said, everything is paid. Okay, the new DNA has 12 strands, by the way, okay? It has to do with the mathematics, the algorithm of this reality. And that's why we have 12 banks in United States, main banks, and your 4-digit social security number is totally connected to that bank. There's 12, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 disciples, yeah, because it's an algorithm, yeah. And so when somebody ask you about the 4 digits of your social security number, is not for safety. It's for them to access that account from your real treasure, yeah?
Yeah.
So interesting things are gonna come because we are coming into that knowledge and that knowingness that's a very practical. But you have to come, in order to apply that, you can't go into the matrix without not being in wholeness of your being, because you're gonna shit in your pants, you know, if you go do something like that. You're gonna have black men knocking on your door. You know, your energy has to be like established and, anchored.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it won't work with mine only.
No.
Yeah,
it won't work.
Yeah.
It won't work like, oh, I'm gonna go and beat the system and go against it. It won't work that way. You have to come from the love of your heart and from pure knowingness that you cannot blame them, because they are telling you it's an invitation to contract. It's a consent that you have to give. So it's not gonna come from blame and hating them. And they presented to us this game, and it worked for centuries to build civilizations. You know, we can't just like demonize them all together. They established bases of civilization for many beings to come here and experience 3D. And for that, we have to honor them. Yeah, because they did a container to which us to come and take part somehow.
But yeah, just to add to that the power, you know, that we have, it comes from that source, that wholeness of being that we are, and that when you express that, then it's, the words don't matter. The words don't matter. It's the power behind. I've experienced that myself. There were some things that I said, and it came straight from my spirit, and then I've experienced the power of my own words when they do come from that place. I mean, it knocks shit down. You know, it's amazing. It's amazing how when you trust it, and then you see your trust coming back to you, you know, blazing, you know, fireworks, saying, you know, you trusted here, and here it is. And it's just this beautiful experience, to experience the power of your higher being in your everyday life. But you're right, Felicia, it's so funny, the notices and everything, they've been unnoticed for a long time. And then there is all this funny games that they like to do. So sometimes we do have to do the notice too, you know. And I gave one yesterday. like giving notices out, because this is the thing. It's like enough with the, you know, copying a reality for another matrix. I think we're pretty much done with it. Let's just move forward. Enough of that. You know, and there are people that are contracted. We're still moving forward, but they're bullshit. It's like we've had enough of it. We had enough of it since 2013, right? And Felicia, you say in April 2013, and I'm laughing here because I remember that too. I'm like, oh shit. That was an interesting time. So right now, at this point, like what you were saying, Felicia, it's changed. Something changed. The grid is fully operational now. We're live all the time. I mean, live DNA, original DNA. And so there is no, remember how I was saying that they can still do affect us here and there through the 2017? But right now, nothing. There is nothing that they can do. So everything that they're doing is only going to do self-damage.
Right.
So for any contracted souls, if they're still living up to those contracts, their contracts all are void and null and by the living organic original DNA. Once you do activate it, then you can freely, as a living spirit, release and override any and all contracts. That's the way I see it. There's no need for anybody, anywhere, for any living human being to hold on to those contracts, because none of it is valid since April of 2013, right? None of it is valid.
We're just continuing that because, you know, it's going to happen gradually, and you will know when you're ready to end the count to say, you know, take it and stick it, you know, where. So, and so it's going to happen individually for everybody. We can't just crush a whole society all at once. And, yeah. And us being grounded in the new grids of the ground of being, we will come because this is what we really set up is grids for civilizations of light to come and have direct experience with Earth and not have the overlay of the fear virus. The ones that are coming from now on due to our grid, they will go straight into wholeness of being. They will anchor there. And we established the template for civilizations of light to come here and experience life on Earth as it should be. As it should be.
True Earth experience.
The true Earth experience, Lily. What you were born for and what you know and how you brought us all together. Look what you manifested. You brought us.
I know.
There you go. You know, this is what you manifested. And the other night it was so funny because when the grids were coming, you know, the grids are coming. I can hear Lily. Okay, I found the hyperbarians. Where is my grid? That's all she's saying. throughout the discussion, you know, putting it this way, but that way, but what I hear, Lily goes, the Hyperboreans, I got you. Where's my grid?
I know, I mean, like, grid, where's the grid?
Yeah, all throughout the discussion, Lily, where is my damn grid? You know, so I can go on, you know, and it's like, it arrived.
Yeah.
It arrived. Yeah, you're summoning very powerful. I thought it was going to take, you know, what? But, oh no, Lily shows up.
I don't want to waste any time. I want to move. This is so big. And you know, I'm known to like be in people's faces and saying, why are you stuck in this matrix? You know, it's so funny. There's so many people have all these websites, how to get out of matrix, how to escape matrix, how to, you know, how to escape matrix.com, escape matrix, and it's so funny because you don't escape matrix. You just stop creating it. And that's how you get out of it. But see, that's the thing. That's the program on you, you know, and that the fundamental of this reality that we hold and what we actually do and what true awakening of a human being is actually is. You know, I'm ready to move forward with that. I can't wait for humanity to truly wake up to the power that we hold within. And I do see, you rightfully said, this new babies coming, and they are like, you know, beautiful, and they're in their wholeness. And I mean, the life is so beautiful. The future is so immensely beautiful because in that record, I go and I poke into future. I want to see how it might look. And I've seen some beautiful things that are possible. Beautiful. Oh.
Yeah, because now very so-called very awakened souls can land here because they're gonna land on the ground of being. Yeah. Where before they were not going to be sent here. Yeah, it's something polluted water. You're not going to send, you know, pure beingness in there. Yeah. And so we open the whole cosmos, the whole creation. The whole creation is watching us and being in awe of what it's like to be at the leading edge. And not only that, but a lot of underworlds got corrected, healed, yeah, automatically. Yeah, a lot of underworlds as a result of grounding the grounder being. Because it's the real soil, yeah, that you can bring your logos, your knowingness, and plant seeds and reboot or restart. Real life here, yeah. That's what the Bucheji Mountains, they hold. They hold the rebooting and a start of new civilizations to come. They hold the templates. Tamarinda will, she already mentioned that, probably even in the Voice of Agartha, I think. She has a place where she said that rebooting and restarting of civilizations happen in that multidimensional chamber. And after the flood, yeah, after the flood, that's where life got rebooted there again, yeah. That's why we say it is the cradle of creation, and everybody claims it, you know, the Africa claims it, and everybody else. And it's very, very beautiful, their story, but they came from there. Everybody did. Because that's why life got rebooted. And it's not the location of Romania. It's just because the meridian that goes through from the pole, it goes through Romania, and it's your spine. Yeah, it's the spine of creation. If you don't have a spine, you know, if you lose your spine, you lose your courage, your zest for life, your spunk. Yeah. And Dacia, you know, she put in the word Dacia, means to give a life force. To cradle in the cradle of creation and reboot, yeah? Because your breath is your connection to your spirit, and it comes down through the interdimensional corridor through your spine. Yeah? If you don't have a breath, you're not linked to your spirit. It's your direct link, yeah? And the spine goes through the Bucheji Mountains, the spine from, yeah, the meridian. We got our spine back.
It's not
Yeah,
equal
yeah,
or special or anything. It's just,
no.
it is. I never understood why humanity has this division games, nationalities, all of that. I mean, it's like, to me, it never had any value. Skin color, nationality, none of that has any value for a true human being. I mean, it's a value, but it has, none of it is a reason for separation, for war. None of that is a good reason for war. And so, but of course, the system wants to make that. But it, like you said, none of it is our human wars. That's not ours. It does not belong.
Yeah, it's a reason for celebration, because every nation is looking at the same glorious beauty from a different perspective. Yeah, it's the one unique glory being viewed, like Og said, from your entrance point, and that's what to me is the definition of a nation. If you really want to have one, you really don't need it. But if you want to put it in some reference, yeah, it's they are all expression of one unique glory. And I think what we accomplished is we gave humanity and ourselves our spine back, our strength. Yeah. We got our spine back. We got the stillness back, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, you got it.
We got the spine back, yeah? Now you can go spinning, go! And boys, yeah, boys and girls, you know, all. Go spin. Go, you know, be the swirling dervish. And have fun.
So basically, we as humanity, stepping into our true power, and that takes us through all this realization of who we truly are, what we're here to do, who we are on an energetic level, on the soul level, on the spirit level, and all of that stuff. And this is the path, I think. And this is the correction, I guess, path. It's just keep expanding this and keep expressing that which we know, because at this point, there's nothing we can do with mind. We can only express the inner creation into external. That's the way I see it. And that's why, Felicia, I think you feel like a bit of a relief, because I think this is a change. It was really hard work until now. I'm also lately just started having a lot of pure fun with it.
Yeah.
Because there is so much signs of it that we got our spine back. And so once we got the spine back, then this sort of starts to be just fun and exciting, and it's very, it creates this like exploration. I was just like, I'm excited about what we can now create.
And you.
That's exciting.
I am too.
Yeah.
But I think when I was a little kid and my first memories were just like, just pure and just wanting to just make things and explore outside, be outside. I was always outside, and I would just love, I would get mud and I would make these little things out of like the clay and the mud, and I would just like do little things, just pretend, and it's just, you know, that's where I love being there. I love that feeling of that, and I don't know, it just gives you that good way of being like a child, and I'm feeling like that again now. Big relief.
Yeah, ride that wave of that frequency, because you can always go fetch it. Yeah, your perspective, point of perspective, it's already in you. You already had direct experience with that. Yeah, it's fine tuning in. You know, like a radio station. You can fine tune in any radio station. It's up to you for the dial where you tune in, to move the dial. Yeah, it's not like one radio station says listen to me only. It's a sovereign being. What's the first principle in natural law? Sovereign being and choice. That's yeah, choice.
Yes, and this is why I think in the beginning of 2016, the only thing I can say about 2017 is the choices are visible. And this is what I think is part of it, that the choices are visible, those that are still choosing to live up to the contracts with the matrix. They're still doing that, and that's their choice. There's nothing we can do. We can laugh about it, but you know, that's their choice. I can't feel sorry for them either, because that's their choice. You know, that they're any being you think would consider themselves first, you know, before living up to the contracts that enslave them. You know, they have a choice to stop that.
And there might be a few more nuggets in there for us to explore, I think. That's why.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things that we're still
yeah, because I noticed that the spirit says, oh, there's more goodies for you in there, and I'm going, really? And then I look at it in a very different way. Yeah, then I don't have a problem. It's still there, and I have to pay a stupid mortgage. Who cares? If I get some more nuggets, I'll pay the damn thing, you know, and put up with it, right? Because it's irrelevant afterwards. Yeah, and because of the nuggets, there will come the wisdom and the knowingness, more and more unraveling. I'm looking for the unraveling of the nuggets, not the crazy check I write for the mortgage, you know. Yeah, it becomes like very significant, you know. It's still like every now and then it's like, oh, damn, but that's short-lived, you know.
So this, and because they're done, okay, before we finish recording, I wanted to sort of ask your perspective on this. Before this whole thing is done, and because the contract was done with the matrix, does that mean that the reset has to happen? Or is that just like, remember like last time you were talking about the reset? Because those people right now, they don't have the human origin. I see those people, they do exist. So what's gonna happen to them?
Okay, do you remember the draft? The draft that Og sent to us with the Bucheji mountain on top?
Oh yeah, his map?
Yeah. That map is gonna be reset. I am still, let's say, taking in from you, your multiple perspectives. I have a feeling we're not done with it, because I'm still waiting. It's resetting itself according to the comments that everybody is making on ESG Facebook page. And so that what he sent us is very precious, even though when you look at it, it's like you want to barf, you know, it's like, wow. But it's still beautiful because it's gonna reset, and that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for that to be reset because they don't know how to reset.
What's that, this one?
Yeah, right?
It's the one that says it has Bucheji mountain on top, and then everything goes from there. And like, why? Because everything is on Bucheji mountains. Why didn't he put something else on top, like Africa or somebody, you know, or Ireland? Yeah, this is not about being discriminated against anybody, not at all. There is a reason for everything. There is a reason, and so he put the Bucheji mountain on top. He sent that to us. And now we are in a process of resetting it. And how long it takes, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, because I am reading the energy signature from all of your comments to take. Whoever will comment, yeah, will contribute to the creation of it. And even if they don't comment, they still contribute. Yeah? But I'm taking the clues from there.
What's happening, yep.
And so to say, oh, we're going to deliver the reset like in 2 days or something, no, because it's not in time. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful, and it's unfolding on its own. And I have like a overall picture of it, but it's a beautiful surprise. So let's put it that way. You're all gonna go, whoa!
I know, I'm like, it's exciting to see how things will unfold because it is unraveling.
Yeah, and I will try to speak to everybody that wants to speak to me. That's why I started with Milos. He was the one that first did. Actually, Trudy did because she asked me first, you know. But she got it without talking to me, so. And even though you can still do, so I want to put this out that I am very willing to, because Milos, I asked Milos, I said, I want to hear your perspective. And he gave it to me. And I wrote it down. Yeah. And that will be put into the living libraries. Yeah. And everybody else that want to, I know some of you don't want to talk to anybody, and I'm okay. You could just send your statement about it. Yeah, that's fine with me. But if you do want to talk to me, I am available, because that's why I took embodiment here, for this and for nothing else. Yeah, just like you did. Yeah, you came here for this. You came here for this. There's nothing the Matrix can offer us. Nothing, not one thing. Not one thing. We didn't come here for learning and all this. For who? For knowingness. Yeah. So that's why we all took embodiment for this moment in creation, in the here and now. Yeah. So I am still waiting. And it's resetting itself very, very beautiful. The correction is already unfolding.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, when I posted that on my wall, and I said, son, that this is actually released on April 1st.
It was released on April 1st with the Bucheji mountain on top. And I thought, this is the biggest cosmic joke. You can laugh your ass off. With this diagram, I was laughing and laughing and laughing. I thought, April 1st, the Matrix is the biggest cosmic joke that was ever invented.
I know, and that's what I am feeling, that because what they were trying to do is fluff up all this program on our Antarctica, with everybody running around screaming, Antarctica! It seems like that's what's happening in alternative media. And even we were like, what's the whole hype all about? We gotta go look. But I think it's because, and remember I said, this is like they're trying to, there's a real revealing that's coming up. And usually before big reveal, they try to do some kind of, I don't know, some kind of destruction type of thing, or so to where people can look the other way. And so I totally felt like that what was going on with what they were talking about Antarctica. Because, you know, like, what are they covering up? They're covering up this, the real holographic living record that's there. You would think that even the information that came out, and if you take the information that's on Antarctica and the information on dissect, Gucci Mountain, you go, yeah, you're gonna totally go and dig into Gucci Mountain to figure out what's going on because there's so much real there. But guess what? The choice. The choice of some people was to still live up to their contracts and keep selling out humanity into the ditch. That's what they do. And this is what, Felicia, you were saying. You were born, I was born for this. To tell people, no more. Enough. And so this is, and then I energetically do feel, I don't know, I don't care how many people will see that show that we did. But energetically, like you said, Felicia, it's huge. Because this is just only gonna grow and expand. It's the seed that's being planted. And that it's gonna grow and it's gonna expand and it's gonna push all the falsity out of this reality. And the transformation will happen because that's what humanity needs, transformation. Not a reset, a transformation.
What also happened that is in its own beauty is that before, when humanity had to reboot life, they had to go through floods and destructions on the outside, yeah? And now we are not destroying the planet and we are not destroying the body, which is awesome, yeah? You have, so the turbulence are meant to go within yourself, and because we also busted the mirror, now it no longer has to take place outside. So people that talk about, oh, Earth is gonna be distracted and the east side is gonna fall off the map and all this stuff. It's like you're repeating Atlantis again, you know, you still have the virus going in the back of your, you know, you're still worshiping at the, you know, the church of the nervous system, I call it. You know, your worship, you know, get off. And so the beauty of this is that there is only life and more life. And that it's not gonna be, none of the land is gonna be destroyed or meteorites coming our way or all this stuff that they continue to make up, you know. They're gonna start World War III or whatever you hear it. Yes, never mind. Because the turbulence is within your being. You feel, that's why you feel the turbulence, yeah? Because now you no longer had to project the turbulence outside into the mirror and then put Gaia through it and everybody else with your ignorance and fear, yeah? That's why we had the mirror, one of the reasons we had the mirror, yeah? And so now it's not going to manifest on the outside. So the rumbling and the turbulence is you're going to welcome it inside because now you know why. And you're not going to project it on the outside. And to me, that is something that has not been done here yet in this realm. Yeah, they had to like end everything and then reboot, yeah? And we rebooted while Gaia is still in her embodiment and us too. We didn't have to take the body to the grave and reboot it. So it's awesome. Awesomeness.
So a transformation period sort of thing to where you have the ability, this is what some people say this time right now is what it is, it's transformation. Instead of, you know, just end of the world. And this is why we got this.
Yes. It's a very organically taking place, very natural, very harmonious. Harmonious, like you know, a baby really grows. We think it grows from food, but really, do you know how little baby children eat sometimes? You know that, yeah?
Nothing sometimes.
Nothing. So it's the same with us right now. We really eat nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely my whole, you know, you were saying earlier that we die all the time. I mean, I'm talking about transformation. Like my body changes every month. It's totally different. And
oh yeah, another thing I want to let you know is that you're gonna experience maybe one leg being shorter than other for a while. One eye going this way. One leg, one arm some days like shorter than the other. I'm like,
We'll just laugh about it.
yeah, or don't be afraid, because some of your like let's say container of so-called your reality might disappear before your eyes. Yeah, sometimes I came home the other a while ago, and now my life is like that. I'm like, gosh, I came home with 2 bags of groceries, yeah, and I put them on a kitchen counter, and as soon as I hit the counter, the whole house disappeared. Just the kitchen counter and the refrigerator. Everything else was just nature around me, no walls, yeah. And I thought, phew, you know, being and creating, because I don't need the rest of the house, no? I just need the kitchen counter and the refrigerator for now. Why would I sustain, you know?
Yeah.
Because nature is the real thing, it's not your house, you know, the real house is not, yeah? So I'm going, okay, all I need is right here, you know? So I went, oh, here's another one of those, you know? So I went to sleep to take a nap, you know? I just went, my spirit just sent me to take a nap. And as I was walking, the bedroom appeared, my bed, my blankets, my pillow. I hit the pillow and I don't know where I went, yeah? And when I came back, I looked at the counter, and everything else was in a refrigerator except the exact ingredients that a wonderful and very delicious dinner came out of it. And I did not make the recipe. Yeah. And I thought, whoa, this is really cool. I'm just going to hang on to this kind of experience, you know. But it's going to trip you off when all of a sudden, you know, things start disappearing from you, yeah? So don't worry, when it does, you know.
at this point, you just kind of have to be open like a child. And this is where I relate with that, you know, you just gotta be open like a child. And this is what we were saying, you know, there's few big things that we process. And this is, I think I can speak here for Trudy and for Betsy too, is that approach of taking it like a child, one step at a time, and having laughs about it, having fun, and you know, and talking through it if we need to. So many times we just call each other and talk to each other. Whatever it is, just you can never step into fear, because that's what will crumble everything. Just you always have to trust your spirit. And that's, I think, the key thing, right? Trusting the spirit.
Yeah, right away, and if you crumble, just go crumbling all the way through.
Crumble all the way.
all the way through. Don't stop the crumbling, and you know, it's like, you know, just crumble with it, because your spirit loves the ride of that crumbling. It knows it emerges back anyhow. It has no fear, yeah? So sometimes I do think, you know, because I am still a part of the human being, is is strongly anchored here, you know, so it throws me off. But then I just go crumbling. When my half of my house disappear, I just go hit the pillow for a while. You know? And because I just crumbled at that point. I went all the way through, like, oh, cow, you know? Yeah, but I think children, that's how the way they're already experiencing them. That's why they look like they're spaced out, because they're looking into infinite space. They're not looking at the walls of the house. You know, that look in their face is very infinite. They probably only see the toy and the next one they want. And everything else you go, oh, and it's like, I don't know what they're talking about. I only see my toy and the next one that I want, you know, and play. I see the stars, I see the trees, the birds are chirping to me, and my mom comes in here and says something that is so foreign. And I love the new ones because the other ones love us so much that they listen to us. They love us and they listen. But this one, if you talk to them like that, you're not in their frequency range. They don't hear you at all. You can keep going like this. They don't hear it.
No.
Which is like beautiful.
Just enjoying life at this point. But of course, there's just so much going on. So I think we had a really nice talk today.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty long. So I'm gonna stop recording that. We're gonna share it with the group, right? And then Felicia, I know you said you welcome other people to contact you. Do you want to tell right now here on the recording where they can contact you if they want?
They can send me a message through the messenger and a Facebook, and then I'll share my information, yeah? Private information like Skype or whatever they want to, you know, connect with, yeah?
Okay,
so just,
that's a good starting point. Facebook.
Or Facebook, if they don't know how to use Messenger, you know, that's Facebook, or I know you can contact me.
You'll find me. Right? All right, so thank you for this talk. I laughed so much.
No.
Enjoyed it. So he's thanking you too.
Yes.
So thank you, ladies, for today.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you from the heart of all things. Thank you.
Thank you too. Oh, see? Zeus agreed.
Yep.